Yo, what's happening, Raider Nation? It's your boy Soto here. You know what it is, Raiders versus the world. Talk about a team that the world loves to hate, your Las Vegas Raiders. So, we're putting the Bears game behind us. Can't do anything about it now. All you can do is learn from your mistakes and the teaching points and move forward and apply that against the Colts. All right, full steam ahead into the Colts. But I want to take a look at one thing in the past about how certain people feel about Ashton Jeanty. Now, Ashton Jeanty had his best game as a pro. He had 155 total scrimmage yards. He had 3 touchdowns, broke a lot of tackles, had a long touchdown run. And you know what? Not everyone is impressed. Let's take a look at Connor Rogers and Phil Simms talking about the rookies of the week. Now, to their credit, Ashton Jeanty was one of the rookies of the week, but to hear him, the game wasn't that impressive. So let's hear what they have to say about Ashton Jeanty, and it gets a little shaky. Just watch.
Speaking of Boise State, Rookie of the Week, and it's about damn time,
yes,
Chris.
Sir.
We've been waiting for Ashton Jeanty to have a week like this. 138 rushing yards. He had the big run that really beefed up these numbers, which you expect that from Ashton Jeanty. Like, you should be hitting the big runs. 1 rushing touchdown, 17 receiving yards. He caught 2 receiving touchdowns. I think what stood out to me, Chris, is the Raiders just need to keep getting him going in the pass game.
I think so.
I don't know why they've been cute with maybe pass protection, but to lobby the Georgia running back, Zamir White.
Yeah, Zamir White.
Like, you just kind of got to get Ashton Jeanty out there for as many snaps as you can.
I would agree with that. I mean, feed him the ball. The one thing, I think the thing that, and to your point and what you're saying and why we saw, like, there was space for him in this game.
Yes.
It was the first time he could get to the second level and not already have somebody on him, or like he just broke a tackle and now he's trying to get going or restart that way. And, okay, it's too late at that point. I mean, this game, he had some holes to where he could not only, like, he could see a hole and also see how somebody was coming to tackle him to avoid him and make a move and make that guy miss. I mean, he's still special in space that way as far as making people miss, right? That's the big thing there. Now, he played a defense that I'd go, I don't know how good their front seven is there in Chicago. It might be the weak link of their football team, really, right? Their front, their linebackers, all of that. I mean, it doesn't pop to me. But at the same time, they opened up some holes. He ran with, I thought, a little more authority and confidence to the hole and hit it instead of sometimes dancing and going, wait, I want a bigger hole. And it's like, no, this is the NFL. Sometimes it's like the hole's only like 8 inches and you just got to put your head down and smash it in there and get 3 or 4 yards. And I think he's learning all that as we go.
Did you buy into that he got his old stance back?
I mean,
it was funny to me.
It is funny, and I do like watching him like that.
I hate when, and I get it, like what Chip Kelly was trying to do, but I don't like tinkering with great players.
I don't.
Not as rookies. Like, if you're a pro and you're established and there's like a little thing mechanically, it's like they're probably comfortable enough to try a switch. I don't like throwing a guy into the NFL and say, do this, when he's been so great. In something so, and to me, it's minuscule.
That's the point. Like, who gives a shit? What do you like? What? Like, what was really affecting him?
I'd love to know.
Like this, and in the other position where he was down and crouched down a little bit. I don't get it either. I don't. They should just let it be. Again, you want to tweak things about his game, sure, do that. But we don't need to reinvent Aaron Rodgers throwing the football in year 3. It's like, he knows how to throw it. Let's not tinker with it too much. Let's not do that, right? I mean, I think that's what we're talking about here. Here's some other things too. His ability to see a hole or a seam and just explode through it and split defenders, that's not elite. That's one thing I go, it's not. That's the thing that I think is why I'm not wowed by him all the way, right? And he's got the good contact talent, but the explosiveness to pull away from the contact after at times, right? And I had just watched Omarion Hampton and a few other films, to me is not up with the top guys. There's a reason that when we had the top running back conversation and the things we talked about yesterday, I know we're not putting Ashton Jeanty there yet, and he hasn't been a part of that, but I don't think he's popped to our eyes that way, at least not to me yet.
No, that's
and I
fair.
think those are some of the things that, again, thought he was all worthy of a top 10 pick. I did. But I think those are the things that are concerning me here through 4 weeks a little. Even though this was good, I still look at it and go, ooh, I just don't know how awesome it is. And then, of course, you couple that with the size, where you just go, wait, a lot of these tackles he broke in college. And this is where it's different in the NFL. Because, yeah, okay, you played against a lot of linebackers, college football, or people at the second level that are not NFL football players. And you're seeing now when those guys hit you, yeah, we don't get the same amount of guys falling off them and people bouncing off them and him bouncing off them the same way. It's like, no, yeah, you lowered a blow, sure, but you went down. Like the guy brought you down. And where I think in like the old days in college, we would have gone, oh, no, he delivered a blow to that guy. That guy looks silly, and now he's running up the sidelines and he's about to make somebody else look silly. And that doesn't happen nearly as much right now.
Yeah, and I think the body blows, you watch a guy like Quinshon Judkins, I've seen him lower his pads and destroy people, and he's getting nothing to work with running into loaded boxes.
Right.
And that's a size difference.
Exactly
I've sat next to both of them.
Right.
And Jeanty is in some of the most unbelievable, like 20 pounds of muscle in a 10-pound sack kind of shape.
Right.
But Judkins, you sit next to him and you go, his legs are the size of an edge rusher.
Yes, right. It's edge of his size of an edge rusher, and I feel like Judkins, and to what we talked about with Bijan Robinson yesterday, we heard like Raheem Morris talk about getting vertical. Their ability to go to 0 to 60 in that 5 to 10 yard span and go that to me is where I'd still like to see more from Jeanty in that department. You know, even on his long TD run, all right, just for some context for everybody, Kevin Byard ran him down. Kevin Byard, by no stretch of the imagination, is considered a fast safety in the NFL anymore. I mean, what is this, year 10 for Kevin Byard?
It's like he's been around a long time.
Now, he broke the tackle to score, right? But the point is that Kevin Byard still ran him down, and he just ran through a hole. It wasn't like he made 25 moves and then restarted. It was like, no, the hole and the play fell just right for him. And he got to go afterburners, and the guy still caught him. So, again, it's good. Don't get me wrong. He finally got some blocking. That's what we can say for sure. And he's got talent. But am I blown away? I'm going to say no right now.
Yep.
I'm not. No, and not as explosive as the top guys in the NFL. You know, you sit there and you watch Mostert get the ball a few times, and you go, "Ooh, Mostert is more explosive to the hole than Ashton Jeanty." And so we'll see where it goes. The big thing, though, I think more than anything, is it's just the not the same amount of broken tackles at the second level as we saw at college football, where he was so special.
Per Next Gen Stats from Week 4, 140 of his rushing yards did come after contact, the second most by any player in a game this season.
That's great to hear.
That is a big positive. He gained 47 more yards than expected. For comparison, Amarian Hampton gained 96 rushing yards over expected against the Giants.
Yeah.
I think that's a good number for both of them. It just goes to show you Hampton.
He's a bigger guy again.
He's a bigger guy.
And Ashton got room to at least this game to start and get the engine
Which
going
helped him
to
a
where
lot.
he get to hit, and now I got momentum going, and now I can break the tackle.
Well, listen to this, Chris, to that point. 11 carries outside the tackles, 133 yards and a touchdown.
Right.
10 carries inside the tackles, 5 yards.
Yeah, that's going to be the question going forward.
So do teams start to kind of cheat that outside run game a little bit?
Question.
All right, this was just silly. They're like, yeah, he's not breaking enough tackles. Oh, yeah, he had 140 yards after contact. Wow. Okay, in one game. All right. I don't know. I don't get it. And then they're like, well, yeah, 47 yards over expected. That's good. But, Amarian Hampton had 96. That shows you how much better. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous statement. These guys are better than that. And comparing them to Quinshon Judkins like to hit women. Okay, let's just call it what it is. All right. They didn't pursue charges because the person that allegedly he assaulted, she didn't want to press charges. Probably got paid off. Allegedly. It's just ridiculous. Like, these guys. Let's hear what Ashton Jeanty has to say. This is ridiculous. He has the best game of his career. He breaks tackles. He catches the ball. He scores touchdowns. He runs away from defenders. Byard did not run him down. Byard had the angle on him and still couldn't bring him down. It's not like Byard was chasing him from behind and caught him. Byard had the angle on him. These guys are just up their own asses. This is ridiculous. Let's get to what Ashton Jeanty had to say. I'm tired of these guys.
Ashton, I don't think there's any doubt that you're going to have a game like you had, at some point as an NFL player. But how good was it to get that under your belt, just to have a game like that, to be Ashton?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, it's a testament. Coaches, putting together a great game plan, and then O-line, receivers, tight ends, doing a great job blocking, and then, making my job easy, and then, going out there, breaking tackles, is what I'm best at.
What were those coaches or the conversations with the coaches like, going back to your stance and also just kind of, hey, how do I maximize what we're trying to do out here?
Yeah, I mean, just all of us being in alignment, honestly. Sometimes you just got to, prove that something can work, and, that's all it is.
What is it about that stance that, first of all, when did it come about, I guess?
It came about really, I'd say more my junior year in college. Just kind of did it. Coaches will always tell you to kind of in more of the bent stance, but I don't know. I just feel more comfortable that way, more relaxed, and then, just reading the defense. Can't really explain it more different than that, but that's just what I do.
Has there been resistance prior? I would imagine like a baseball batter that might have a funky swing or whatever. People are always trying to, no, you should do it this way.
Yeah, I wouldn't say really resistance. I just think, it's different, so a lot of times when something's different, it doesn't always, come off to people that it could work that way, but, it works, so no need to change it.
You talked about on Sunday, you talked about the offensive line, how they've been putting in their work now, left tackles down and Stones up. How quickly can you get on the same page with the O-line?
Yeah, just continuing to communicate, like we've been doing, having our meetings, knowing how they're blocking, knowing what they're thinking. The same thing goes, no matter who's in the game. And, I got full trust in Stone coming in, and we'll be able to do great things.
Last week, Jackson jumped back in the lineup too. What did you see out of him when you guys went and watched that one back?
Yeah, he played a hell of a game. Great effort. On one of the screens we threw to Brock, he laid out, totally blew up the safety. So you just love to see that kind of effort, and it's exciting to have somebody like that to play alongside with.
Geno mentioned that when he threw an interception, you said, "Hey, next play." That's a leadership role from a rookie. Where did that come from you?
That's something that I've always had in me. Just being a leader, but not only that, just being a great teammate. Because when I've made bad plays, Geno's been one of the first people to come up to me and let me know, like, hey, you got this. You're one of the best players on this team. We're going to need you. So I'm keeping that same mentality with him. And, like, I got your back, whatever happens on the field.
A lot of talk about mentality, but I saw you kick out of one of the tackles that you broke, the kind of high kick, and made your way to the end zone on one of the long runs. And I was just wondering, what was going through your mind in the moment, like, to be able to have that ability to continue breaking tackles and to do it with, like, such authority?
Yeah, obviously, O-line did a great job. Tight ends, everybody blocking, so I kind of broke free. And then, most of the times when somebody's chasing you from behind, they're going to kind of wrap around you and then go down to your legs. So, you just keep them legs running, they ain't going to be able to take you down,
You had mentioned that play by Jackson on that screen pass. When that gets shown on film in offensive meetings, is there something to be said about that when you guys see that and it kind of fires everybody up in terms of team camaraderie?
Yeah, most definitely. I think the most important thing, with how we, been emphasizing how we play ball is, effort. And that play shows extreme effort to get the job done.
Ashton, on a little bit separate note, I guess some of your formative years were in Naples and Italy, right? Did you ever relate to, like, Kobe Bryant's story, kind of similar background there?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the school he went to, Aviano, was like, it's not too far from them. We actually played them a few times, but yeah, just being overseas at a younger age, and then coming back to the U.S. and making it to the big leagues. So I guess there's some similarities there for sure.
All right, thanks, Ashton.
Jeanty said it, man. He felt good. He felt like he was more himself. He got back to his stance. It's just a mental thing. But remember what Mark Schlereth said. One of the things that rookie running backs specifically need to get better at when they start playing is reading the defense. If standing up straight helps him read the defense a little bit better and gives him a little better look at what the defense is trying to do, formation-wise, then just let him do what he wants. It's not a big deal. The guys on Unbuttoned said it. It's like, dude, what's this? It's a minimal thing. Like, why are we messing with his stance. Let him be comfortable. Let him do what he wants to do as far as getting ready for the play. And he showed it on the field. I think we can expect much more of this moving forward from Ashton Jeanty because I think he's more comfortable now and he understands where his niche is, where he can go and make those big chunk plays. He's going to have to get better in between the tackles, okay? He's going to have to get better at doing that. But you know what? If we end up being an edges, off the edges type of team because the guys in the middle aren't doing what they need to do, then so be it. We just have to make sure that we run something up the middle to keep them honest. But if we're gaining yards on the outside, yeah, let them plug the outsides up and we'll just start running up the middle. It's an easy fix. What isn't an easy fix is what's going on with Geno Smith. We talked about it. I've talked about it the last few videos, and one of the things that I really was very, I think, intrigued by was how Pete Carroll was saying, well, it seems to be one concept that he's having trouble with. We'll just stop calling that play or stop having that concept in our route combination. And it just makes a lot of sense. If he's having trouble reading that safety, then just have him throw that seam route, that little skinny post or that slant to really attack that safety. And, he seems to be pretty good elsewhere. It's just that one throw, that one read is really bugging him. He's not doing it right. It's got to be a tell, something that was in tape in previous seasons, something that maybe Chip Kelly didn't pick up on because he keeps calling the damn plays. But I think it's something that we need to work on and something that Geno Smith needs to work on. I like the fact that Geno Smith took responsibility for the throws, but I don't like the fact that he was still making excuses as far as, great plays by the defense. That doesn't matter. You make a bad throw, you make a bad read. If you make the right read, there's no play to be made. So Geno Smith also had a presser today. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Good afternoon.
I like that hoodie.
Now that you've had a little time to reflect, look at tape and everything, what are some things you want to correct to get things going better?
Yeah, just take care of the football. I mean, that's the main thing that I saw from that game. I thought we played a good game on offense. I just think turnovers are obviously going to be a killer, and that hurt us in that game. But even with all that, we still had a chance to win at the end. So we have a really good team. Obviously, our record isn't what we want, but I feel good about us getting this thing going.
Feel a little bit better when you look at the tape and maybe the answers are right there, so it's not a big mystery.
No, I don't feel better at all about the loss, honestly.
Not the loss, but in terms of the bounce back, like there's answers to why it happened.
No, yeah, I know what you mean. There's always things that are correctable, but I mean you can't get those things back. That's just how life goes. Unfortunately, that's what happened in that game. But I'm still confident in my guys, still confident in myself, still confident in the trajectory of this season and where this team can go. So I would wish if you could look at things in hindsight. I mean, you always think of things you can get better at, but the reality is you got to make the plays when the plays are available, and so that's kind of how I look at it.
Geno, have you seen any commonalities between the interceptions that you've thrown?
I mean, they all came out of my hand and ended up in the defense's hand. So those are the things that I've seen that are in common, and those are the things we got to correct.
You and Ashton connected with 2 touchdown passes on Sunday. Just how beneficial is it when you're able to get him involved in the passing game the way you guys did?
Yeah, I mean, we want to get Ashton involved any way we can. As you guys can see, as we've been saying all along, he's such a dynamic player. He's only, growing as he goes along, and I think we all are as an offense. But I think what he showed and displayed is what we've always seen from him. And, if we can get him going in the passing game, that's great. If we can hand it off to him and let him do his thing, that's great as well. Just always trying to get the ball in the hands of our playmakers, and he's one of those guys we got to get involved.
To that point, do you feel like the offense has to find a way to get Brock more involved too, more targets to Brock Bowers? And how could it look getting both of those guys going at the same time, Ashton and Brock?
Yeah, that's what we want to see. That's what we want to see. We want to see exactly what our offense can be when we play 4 quarters of committed football, of doing the right thing and just playing our style of football, playing our game, getting Brock involved, getting Mike involved, getting all these guys involved, man. Just everybody can go out there and do their thing. Obviously, Ashton and Brock are, again, 2 of our leaders on offense and 2 guys that we really rely on. So we want to get them involved, and we want to get these things started, pretty fast here. So, we got to get rolling. We got to get rolling. And I think last week we made a step in the right direction, but we just got to keep, building this thing and making sure that when we get out there, we're executing to the highest of our abilities.
Watching the Colts on tape, obviously, it's a team that doesn't have a whole lot of star power necessarily in terms of name recognition, but what are some things that you see from them that make them so successful?
Well, I see, first of all, man, I would say they got star power. When you look up front with DeForest Buckner and Grover, I think they're two of the better interior guys that we're going to see all year. With Latu and Kwity Paye, 2 first-round draft picks, guys who are developing like we all are. And, they show a lot of explosion on tape. So things we got to account for, Zaire Franklin, middle linebacker, 150 tackles a year. He does this thing every single year. And then we know about Cameron Bynum in the back end. 2 proven corners with Travarius Ward and Xavier Howard. So they got guys all over the place, man. All those guys are capable and can make plays. It's about how we execute, though. We're going to see good teams every single week, and we're a good team. So we got to go out there and prove it. We got to go out there and execute, prove ourselves. And, I feel really, really good about it.
Geno, you always talk about you being your toughest critic, and you're always going to be hard on yourself. How in game do you not think about the last play if it was a bad play? Just clear.
Well, you gotta focus, man. It's not easy to do, but luckily for me, I've had a lot of obstacles that I've had to overcome in my life, and it's really always gave me great perspective. So anytime there's a mishap or a play that you wish you could have back, you really can't get it back. So you got to focus on the next play, and so that's what I do. I focus on being where my feet are, being here in the right now. Again, things outside of my control are the things that I can't get back. I got to focus on what I can control, and I feel like I do a pretty good job at that.
Every week we've asked you about the team you're going up against, like you just did. You really dive into hey, here's what I need to look out from this guy. Seems like you have a really good handle on personnel, probably more than other quarterbacks we've heard. Do you think is that part of your edge, really diving into the guys you're going up against?
Yeah, I'm film junkie. I study a bunch of ball. I study these guys, as much as I can. I try to, devote all my time to this game and being the best quarterback I can be. I feel really bad about the turnovers, and I think some of it's been unlucky. But I do understand that that's a part of the process as well. And so for me, studying my opponent, you always gain that edge, but there's never enough. You can never watch enough film. So I try to study as much as I can.
Leader, what's been your message to the team and getting the progressions going, keeping the process going each week as you head into Indianapolis?
Yeah, I think we got a great group of leaders on this team. Even when, when I'm in having a game like that where it's like, man, things aren't going right for me. You got Maxx, you got Jamal, you got Ashton, you got so many guys that are, just breathing life into me and giving me that positivity we need. And so on this team, as you know, with our head coach, we're always going to be upbeat, but we also have a great, locker room leadership, and all of the guys are just focusing on getting better week to week, going out there and putting the best product out there for our fans. And so, for me, continue to be myself, continue to be the same guy every day. I think this is more now of a time to, really showcase who I am and go out there and really execute and find our way, and I think we got the right guys to do it.
What kind of adjustment is there, if any, with a new left tackle stepping in?
Those are things we have to figure out, man. As the game goes on, as we get through practice this week, just talking to Stone, what is he comfortable with? How can we help him? And then when we get into the game, the same thing. How does he feel out there? What is he comfortable with? And then how can we help him? But he's not out there alone. It's 11 guys on the field. He got 10 other guys with him that got to go out there and execute so he can execute. So we all just got to play our game, do our job to the best of our ability, and allow Stone to go out there and be himself.
Ashton, we talk about the different leaders on the team. Obviously, he's a young guy, but we see on the tape, after the interceptions, he's kind of talking to you and everything. What's his attitude like out on the field, and is it kind of rare in his attitude that he does have for a rookie?
I would say it's rare. He's super calm, man. Super calm, super, collected. He's got a way about himself that nothing surprises him. He knows who he is. I think that's very important. He knows the type of player he is and what he can do. And he also, he has great leadership. Again, when something goes bad, he's the first one to run up to him and be like, hey, man, next play. And that's something that, when you see a rookie doing that, he's not the only guy doing it, but, for him to be a rookie and to have that much poise, it speaks volume to who he is.
Okay, guys.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
So I understand why he answered it the way he did and didn't answer it the way I would have liked, or some version of that. For the question of, do you see something similar in your interceptions? And Geno Smith says, yeah, it left my hand and it went to the opposing team, caught by the opposing team. I hope that's really not it. Because if he doesn't see a pattern that I think we all see in a specific play or a specific concept, then there's a big problem, and he won't stop throwing that ball. Now, he can't necessarily say, I mean, you shouldn't say, yes, it's this concept and, having trouble reading that safety. You don't want to say that, right? But it didn't sit well with me. I do like that Geno is taking accountability for things like I said, but that just didn't sit well. I would have liked to have had a little bit of different answer, kind of shutting the question down, saying, yeah, I just made some bad reads and I'm throwing some picks. We'll work it out. 7 interceptions. He needs to throw a lot of touchdowns to be able to match those interceptions as far as 2 for 1, right? And that's really who he's been in his career. So he's pretty upside down right now. I think he's got 5 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Like, he's got a ways to go. Hopefully he starts again on the positive against the Colts. One thing we need to take a look at here is, how is this running game going to work against the front of the Colts, who was pretty decent against the run? Got to make sure that we're able to run the ball, because if not, Geno Smith's going to be in shotgun more often. Play action is not going to work. We got to make sure that we're in a more traditional set under center. Hopefully, if we see more of that, that means the run game is working. That means the play action is working, and we can get big chunk plays down the field and not be throwing interceptions. How is this all going to play together? How are we taking a look at injuries like Colton Miller, like maybe Eric Stokes? Who's going to be the replacement guys? There's Darian Porter. There's Stone Forsythe. There's, Charles Grant. So we have a lot of questions to ask here. And Pete Carroll went up to the presser to see what he had to say.
Got me a little cramped up against the wall here. Does that mean my back's up against the wall? Now come the questions. When isn't it? Okay, so we're getting ready for this thing. I know you're going to ask some questions about injuries and all that. We still don't know about Michael Mayer. We'll figure that out during the course of the week. He's still, getting cleared. And Colton had a high ankle sprain, and so that's what we're dealing with. And so you saw what we've done with that. Go.
You guys obviously traded for Stone for a reason, a player that you know pretty well. What does he bring to the table, and if this role increases your
we were with him, right from the beginning, and loved the kid and the work ethic, the smarts. His mentality is just right. He started probably 14, 15 games or something, and started on the left side 4 or 5 times as well. So we're confident that he can do the job. That's why we went after him. And this is, unfortunately, the scenario that we arise puts him in playtime. So he's ready to go and excited about it and look forward to it. And I have no problem with him playing. I've played with him before.
In regards to Eric Stokes, how is he doing this spring?
He says he's fine. He says he's fine. We're going to take it easy on him first today. He'll practice today, but we're going to just go slow with it and make sure that he's right. And so he seems to be pretty confident about that. We'll see.
Were you hoping to get more out of your draft class, or is this kind of what you expected 4 games in?
I don't even have an evaluation for that. I don't have any expectation for the draft class. There's a couple guys, when you have a kid like Ashton that's picked up high like that, when we were slotting him into the starting spot really from the beginning, that's different than the rest of the guys. But we just want to keep growing with these guys and make the right decisions along the way. We don't do it because you think we should start guys because they've been drafted. That's not how we think. But I love playing young guys, and I love developing them, and we're in the process. You see that we're rotating the defensive tackles a little bit and trying to figure that out and make some good sense of that. On the offensive line in particular, we'd like to hold off as much as we can until these guys really can prove that they're ready. But that you don't always have that opportunity. So, Charles he's working like crazy with a really, concern. But now I may have to play right now. So we're going to try to get that prepared. And if he does have to go in there and we need him, he'll go. And so, but there's no expectations other than the real obvious ones. You fill a spot with the guy. They got to show it, and we got to bring it to life.
As you prepare for this game, watching Shane Steichen's offense, obviously a guy that went to UNLV here in Vegas, what have you seen from him as a coach, and what has he done to build up?
They've made a significant shift in their effectiveness from the offseason to now, and Daniel Jones has been right in the middle of all of that. They've got good players. They've got extremely well-equipped skill people. Tyler, the new tight end, he's their number 1 targeted guy. The tailback is elite, and so it's been a tremendous connection between, let's say, Shane and Daniel, to get him to play at this high level so early in his time with them. They've come out flying and they've had great success on offense so far. So Daniel's been the recipient of this opportunity, and thanks to Shane, I would think.
Back into that, obviously last week you guys did a lot better of a job at going after the run defense compared to week 3. How beneficial is that, kind of seeing the run defense get back on track, especially going against Jonathan?
Yeah, I would like to think it was an outlier that happened. We missed that stinking play that they go 60 yards on, with 4 guys miss the guy. But our run defense has been solid. We've been pretty consistent except for that big play there. This was a really good outing for us. I thought both sides of the ball really benefited from the week of practice. I've made a big deal about it today. We're going out on Comp Wednesday and expecting those guys to continue to improve. What I've known from the past is you stack Wednesday and Thursday practices, and if you keep having really good ones, then your team improves and they get better. And last week was a really good indication of that. Remember, I was grousing about the week before, because of the walkthroughs and all that, to try to bounce back, and we missed this element of the preparation process last week, 2 weeks ago, and we benefited this past week. Now we need to build on that, and you need to stack those days up. Wednesdays are huge for us, and it's the fundamental day, it's the line of scrimmage, it's all of those things on both sides of the football that can elevate and really come around. So it showed last week.
In playing, an undefeated team this week, does that give the team, more of an opportunity to get things going in the right direction?
Can you start the whole question again for me?
Say again?
Say the whole question again.
Oh, I thought they would. Excuse me.
That's okay. That didn't happen. Okay.
Disregard me, please. Go on.
No, I'm not disregarding you. Go ahead. You can do it.
But how did you think Darian played coming in?
What a swing, man. That was awesome. That was awesome. Nice job, man. He did a nice job, and he's continued to tackle well on teams, and he had a couple shots in the game. He did well, so I'm hoping that we get a chance to get him in the game a little bit more than we did last week.
When someone like Brock Bowers injured, he's slowly trying to get back to 100%. How much does that change the way you guys run as an offense, or your top guys fully?
Well, we're still trying to go to him. We're still trying to get the ball to him and use him for all of the great skills that he has. So nothing's changed in that regard. I think we're going to see him better as he gets rid of that brace that he's wearing, in a couple of weeks, whenever that happens. It's worked out well to have him playing. He's been out there and he's been able to practice and prepare and all of that, and he's an incredible asset to our team. But we would love for him to get the ball more.
Did you feel that coming to life a little bit in the fourth quarter? I think it was that last drive where you started going to him and you started making things happen.
It's kind of, unfortunately, it's happened in a couple of games where we've got him late more than early, and that's not by design at all. It's just we've been trying to get things going, but it just didn't happen. So, we'll continue to work at that. We love going to him.
He looked a little bit better though. I mean, did it feel to you like he was looking a little bit more?
I think he's gotten better I think he's looked, more himself every week.
How do you think so you're 4 games in, how do you think Jordan Meredith has handled the center spot so far?
He's handled it very capably. He's done a nice job of controlling the message inside and the communications and all of that. He's been very consistent. He had a play or two in the game, like guys have, when he got knocked around a little bit. But all in all, he's done a very, very creditable job. Let me say this too. I was really happy with JPJ's game. And he's going to start this week, and we're looking forward to seeing him contribute again. He had a good, significant role now that we can see it all happen. So you can kind of count on that. But I think both those guys, the more that they can be together, the better off they'll be, and it just helps for the continuity and the confidence and the speed of response, and as they're making their changes and their reads inside. So, but I think Jordan's done a nice job for us.
You've been with Geno for a while. How does he compare what happened last week?
He's done it. He's already done it. I thought he did a masterful job of accepting the responsibility. That you guys would all think is so obvious. The turnovers there's a lot of reasons things happen, but as the quarterback, you got to shoulder it, and he did exactly what he should do. He took a day that he needed, and another day that he needed, and he's back to full speed, ready to go, and his brain is on, his mind is clicking, and he's excited about this opportunity.
I was wondering at what point where it becomes a serious concern. I know you guys, Geno's good at bouncing back.
I don't know that gauge. I don't know what you're asking me. I don't know what that gauge would be. At what point? I don't have a gauge for that. I've never gotten to that point.
From your experience, when a rookie like Ashton Jeanty has a game like he had, kind of maybe turns the corner, is there something to that where that confidence and that?
Yeah, I think everybody's kind of tuned into that. I mean, we were even talking about, if he just breaks out one, it might make a difference. He's been playing like this the whole time. He has not all of a sudden he changed. The results came because he's an extraordinary football player, and you could see him make those special plays where guys couldn't tackle him in the open field, and he could finish on the big run, which is gorgeous to see that. I just think we kind of felt like it was just a matter of time, and I think you guys thought that too, and everybody should. He's a tremendous player, and so, but he feels better about it. I heard him say something like y'all worried about me or whatever, something. He ain't worried about it at all, and hasn't been, and continues to prepare with a really clear vision of his contribution, his ability to help out. And I mean, I love that this guy's on our team, and I love that everybody saw it, so you guys can look to the next issue that comes about.
He had 2 touchdown catches on Sunday. How beneficial would it be to get him even more involved?
Yeah, there's like as much as we can. We'd love to have him, because if you get him the ball in the perimeter like that, or even when you check it down to him, he's going to make somebody miss most of the time. And so I think it's becoming more clear. Our opponents will see it, and they'll try to take steps to keep that from happening. But it's a great asset, and we don't want to miss that. But I mean, we couldn't do everything all at once. Y'all wanted everything to happen at the same time, all at once. It took us a little while, and I feel very good about the progress that we're making. I'm really excited about what happened up front on both sides of the football, but with the running game and the pass protection last week, it just looked so much cleaner and sharper. It just shows you that there's good fortune ahead, and so we're going to keep believing that way.
For someone like Thomas Booker, who hasn't had, like, before he came here, had a lot of tape and a lot of playing time, when you were looking at him before getting trained, what specifically were the things that stood out?
He was really consistent and really firm technique-wise. Didn't get knocked off the ball at all. Like you said, he hadn't had a lot of opportunities and hadn't had a lot of featured opportunities in passing down situations. They had some other stars on that team, so he couldn't get the opportunity. But he's contributed in a huge way, and he's just as steady as a rock. And I don't know if you guys have had a chance to talk to him, but he's a beautiful kid, and he has a lot to offer all of us. And so, again, I think we're just learning to appreciate him more. And he had a couple of really big plays in the game too, which was great.
You saw Vic Fangio's comments yesterday, but he said the way that kickers are allowed to handle the balls now has led to the long field goals, and it's changed defensive strategies in a way that you're worried kickers can kick longer now. I was wondering if that has impacted your thinking at all, and if you.
Well, first off, I love Vic and all, but I wouldn't really agree with that. I'm worried, that they're going to kick more long field goals. I'm not worried about it. They're doing it. It's a fact. So he went softball now a little bit, but they are kicking the ball longer, and they're making more contact now. Did you say it's because they're handling the balls more?
Handle the balls now during the week, is what he said.
Maybe. Yeah, you'd have to ask the kickers on that one. I wouldn't know. Something's going on, though. Something's going on.
Thanks, Pete.
What we've come to expect from Pete Carroll, he's going to back his team up. He's going to point out the positive. He's going to minimize the negative, but also acknowledge that you do have some things to work on. If we're going to take a big, long look back from a very wide view, yes, there are things that are improving. There are things that are getting better. There are things that people were concerned, including myself, that are actually improving and are pretty good. The defense is one, especially the second and third levels. Also, the run game, the offensive line. Well, we'll see what happens with Colton Miller out, how that looks. The run game is much better. Now, we need to get these, of course, get these turnovers under control. We'll see how this team looks with a combination of Ashton Jeanty and Raheem Mostert running the ball. Let's not forget, Raheem Mostert gained like something crazy, like 15 yards a carry or something like that. Close to that, more than 10 yards a carry. He had a nice game too. He had almost 70 yards, 60-something yards. So him being the pop, the quick guy, to Ashton Jeanty being more the power back, I think it's a 1-2 punch that are really going to work. I really don't see any way that Zamir White makes his way back on as long as both Ashton Jeanty and Raheem Mostert are healthy. Raheem Mostert was also a better return guy in the return game. So that 1-2 punch is going to be big because this play action against this defense is going to work, and it has to, because it's really our only shot to keep Geno under control a little bit and not have him be so wheelie-dealy just slinging the ball around. We need to keep it a little bit under control, give him easy throws, and quit trying to play that safety on that skinny post or on that slant. We got to stop doing that. So if that happens, I think we're going to have a good result offensively against the Colts. All right, guys, this is my time for today. Really appreciate you guys watching. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to this video. It's the next way to support the channel. It's absolutely free. And it's the bare minimum you can do to support the channel besides doing nothing, just watching the video. On top of that, we have the Shield Society. You know what it is. It's a membership. It's $5 a month. You get the videos right away. You don't have to wait for them to be scheduled for a different day. You get them right when I put them up. Also, you get the watch party with me. You get my analysis, my play-by-play, my takes, my ranting, my cheering. You guys can do it too and be a part of the show. Jump on the video if you want and do that yourselves. It's a great thing to do. I want to offer you guys a little bit more than that too. I'm going to give you guys some freebies for the Shield Society, guys. Make sure that you join the watch party so I can get all your info and send that out to you guys. But I need you guys to do one thing for me. Tell your friends, tell your haters, tell your mamas, tell everybody. Raiders versus the world is the greatest thing going in Raider Nation today. All right, guys, that's my time. Till next time, everybody. Peace.
Hey, Raider Nation. Thanks for watching. There's plenty more where that came from. Go ahead and smash that like button. Drop a comment. Make sure to subscribe and share to all your socials. It's the bare minimum you can do without doing absolutely nothing.